The board of Lafarge Africa Plc recently held its 62nd annual general meeting in Lagos, aligning with the COVID-19 health and safety protocols. Coordinated by the Chairman Prince Adebode Adefioye, it was an opportunity to engage shareholders on the 2020 financial year performance and outline the strategy for 2021. It began with the independent auditors and audit committee reports that affirmed the 2020 full-year financial report of Lafarge Africa, compiled with the Companies and Allied Matters Act and the International Financing Report Standards, IFRS.
In our opinion, the accompanying consolidated and separate financial statements give a true and fair view of the consolidated and separate financial position of the company and its subsidiaries as of 31st December 2020, and of its consolidated and separate financial performance and its consolidated and separate cash flows for the year then ended in accordance with International Financial Reporting Standards, IFRS, and in the manner required by the Companies and Allied Matters Act, CAMA 2020, and the Financial Reporting Council of Nigeria Act 2011.
The scope and planning of internal audit for the year ended 31st December 2020 are satisfactory. The internal audit programs reinforce the company's internal control systems. 2. The scope and planning of statutory audit for the year ended 31st December 2020 are satisfactory. 3. Having reviewed the independent auditor's management letter on accounting procedures and internal controls, we are satisfied with management's responses thereof. 4. The accounting and reporting policies for the year ended 31st December 2020 are in accordance with international financial reporting standards and applicable regulatory requirements. In our opinion, the scope and planning of the audit for the year ended 31st December 2020 were adequate, and the management's responses to the auditor's findings were satisfactory.
Shareholders, in their remarks, commended the board for paying ₦1 dividend amidst a challenging economic environment and tasked them on optimizing their operations.
It is a very difficult time, and for us as shareholders, any company that decides to pay dividend is a welcome development to us, because we know how difficult it is to operate under this difficult economic situation and as well as this pandemic.
Financial highlights. Like he said anyway, this is a very good result, and I hope our board will keep it up. All the indices on page 9, all the indices are positive, but I believe there is still room for improvement. We can do better. Having said that, I want to also commend Lafarge Africa for our national literacy competition initiatives, which has positive impact on public schools, whereby almost close to 700,000 children has benefited from this program. This is highly commendable, and I want my colleagues to give them a very sound applause for this.
Highlights of the event was the approval of the ₦1 dividend and the re-election of some of the board members, amongst other key decisions.
Together with the reports of the directors, external auditors, audit committee before the shareholders. The audited accounts and reports have been circulated to all shareholders as required by law. I hereby lay the audited financial statement for the year ended 31st December 2020, the reports of the directors and the auditors and audit committee reports before the meeting.
Some of the shareholders give their views on the overall performance and their expectations for 2021.
We are very delighted that we could associate ourselves with a company that is paying dividend at this particular time. Not only that, with the opening of the economy, the border, we expect a better and more better performance than this. So our expectation is very great, and hopefully we are assured that the board and management of Lafarge will meet our expectations.
I have hope that with this new board, they will continue to build on what the last board planned down. So I'm happy and I'm advising people to encourage them because I believe they will listen and pay more returns to the shareholders from next year, provided they're able to close that gap. So it's very important.
The chairman of Lafarge, Prince Adefioye, and Group Managing Director and CEO, Mr. Khaled El Dokani, speaks further on the 62nd Annual General Meeting and the strategies to create more value in the market.
When it comes to business experience and understanding of the markets are quite deep and very knowledgeable. And across the years, they even become a lot more proactive as to what the company needs, how the company needs to react as the market continues to vary. So I found it very stimulating. They understand the laws that governs company acts. They know the business. They are investors in various fields within the economy, and they interact at this level like on a permanent basis. So I have tremendous respect for our shareholders.
And they commended you for paying N1.00 dividend, but they're expecting more in 2021 financial year when we look back at the AGM next year. So what should we expect from the board and management from Lafarge Africa amidst the challenging economy?
Well, business and investing is really about return, and our duty is to give maximum or optimal results to our stakeholders, which include our shareholders. So the management, the board will work assiduously to making sure that we give an improved results, because the temperature of the meetings are measured by the expectation of the shareholders and the final results. I think in our case, we are coming from a slightly more difficult situation. That's why N1 is acceptable. I'm sure next year we'll have to improve on it to be able to have a cordial meeting. And that is a task that we have all promised to achieve.
I mean, cost of sales, to put it into perspective, cost of sales grew by 4%, which is lower than the volume growth. I think our volume grew about 7%. So if you look at our cost of sales per ton, we actually reduced, and this is went down. And this is the outcome of our deliberate initiatives we describe as our health, cost, and cash initiatives, where we looked at all opportunities across our value chain. We looked at our fuel efficiency, we looked at efficiency within our distribution, and even in our sales and marketing and admin cost. So for 2020, actually our cost of sales reduced relatively to volume growth. On backward integration, absolutely, we're focused on this, and it's part of our strategy. You all know the pressure that we're facing now on FX pressure, what Naira is doing. So it's absolutely important for manufacturing companies to begin to source locally. And within our plans in terms of achieving a more efficient fuel efficiency, sourcing locally, whether it's our input cost and even developing local suppliers, it's a priority for us. Yes.
Well, our key focus is really to expand our production capacity, bring more volumes to the market, and the intention is to sell whatever we can produce. So that's our key objectives. But our prime objective now is really to upgrade our production capacity and bring volumes to the market. We're carrying on the same strategy of 2020, which is health, cost, and cash. This is our three main key pillars that we focus on. And under the three pillars, we do a lot of things. So under health, we take care of environment, we take about our corporate social responsibility role in the organization. We focus on our cost and to be able to generate better cash, and we can able to serve the shareholders and provide more dividends. We reduced our debt at the right time, especially now with the currency devaluation and the increase in dollars. So all our debts in foreign currency have been waived out at the right time. This has really solidified our position. Our coming expansion plans, we are planning to rely more on our internally generated cash. And that's why we leverage our balance sheet to be one of the best balance sheets in the industry.
Despite the challenging economic environment in 2020, shaped by the COVID-19 pandemic, Lafarge Africa achieved a profit after tax of 30.8 billion naira, representing a 99% achievement compared to previous year 2019. This translated to a dividend payout amounting to 16.1 billion naira. It is expected that Lafarge will sustain this momentum with innovative solutions that can boost its production capacity, increase revenue, which will lead to an improvement in dividend payments for shareholders.